fanboys, man. Bruh, guys, get you're not allowed in the club. You're not allowed in the club. I'm sorry. The Irishman. So I feel this is good enough time to do a spoiler review. Before I do spoiler reviews, I do like to pretty much watch the film twice. I always want to watch the film twice, but I felt that I've seen enough of the film. I've even been thinking about it even more. I've seen enough of the film to be like, you know what? I think this is enough for me to give a spoiler review on this. So, speaking of the film in particular, speaking about the film in particular now. So, I was just thinking about this. So like, how would I was even like, also on the way back, walking back, I'm like, how would I view this film? How would I sort of sum up this film? And I said, you know what? I got it. This is a more mature version of Goodfellas. Because I watched Goodfellas again recently, because I didn't watch it ages ago. So I watched it again recently, and I was like, you know what? I actually don't think the film is as good as people say it is. It's very well made, some quality acting, but I just thought that the story was lacking. The screenplay was lacking. I think Scorsese I think he co-wrote the script. So I don't know. I just felt like it was missing a lot. There was a lot of story that was missing in Goodfellas. But I think with Irishman, you can tell that this is a very dense film. And which is why I say this is like a more mature and a better version of Goodfellas, because it has the style, the feel of Goodfellas and everything, but it's a much more fuller story. And I think the way that the story is handled is a lot better. Maybe it's coupled with the fact that it might be based off a true story, or maybe it's because you had Steve Zalen who wrote the script. And what I always like is one screenwriter. At the most two, but whenever you see 4 or 5 screenwriters, then that's when you just get worried. Ideally, you want just one mind thinking, but you know what? 2 writers are good, because look at the Coen brothers who do a lot of writing, the Wachowskis as well and everything, the Farrelly brothers. So, but I think, with it was so crazy. The moment you see like that kind of shot where it just pans in, so obviously maybe the retirement home of Frank Sheeran, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be something. And as you just go through, it really felt that this was a culmination of everything that Scorsese has shown us. So it's almost like a film where it's like it would be shown in film schools. I think people have always said that Scorsese is a film student director, because of just how well he just accomplishes all the different disciplines that you learn in film school. He just does it to the nth degree. See, other directors may be just a lot more crazy, much more dynamic, like an Aronofsky or like a Nicholas Winding Refn. But Scorsese, man, he just does the things you learn in film school, but he does it better than you would ever dream of doing it. And I think, there's just so much to unpack. I mean, maybe I have to do another part of this, but it's like, let me just start first with De Niro. This is De Niro's best performance since Casino. It is. So the last time that he was, it is his best performance. And working with a director, and I remember I was watching something, I think this is like behind the scenes of Goodfellas, where Scorsese said that him and De Niro, they have like a shorthand, where Scorsese just has to say like a few words, and they already know what the deal is. I'm to turn that off. Basically know what the deal is there. So it's like the kind of nuances De Niro had with his character, how he would say a line and not hardly finish off a line, and just how fluid, how authentic, how real, how organic, how street his character was, and his diction. I was like, yeah, man, this is... You know what it was? It felt like watching Mean Streets again. Just the way that Scorsese presented De Niro, the way that he put him across, and the way that De Niro put himself across, I was like, yeah, this is like Mean Streets. This is like Johnny Boy back in Mean Streets, and it was just amazing to see. And what was so amazing is, because people always say, once you get to a certain age, you lose your acting talent, which is complete crap. Like, what's it called? Brando pretty much gave almost the greatest performance of all time, arguably, in his 50s, playing a 70, 80-year-old. So that's crap. And I just think, De Niro just said, no. All I needed was just the right director. And I just felt that when I just look at what De Niro did in this, because I think his performance in this I thought was outstanding. It was an absolutely amazing performance. I was like, my God, De Niro, he never lost it. Because a lot of people look at all of the films that he made, like Bad Grandpa, Meet the Parents, all those kinds of comedies, and these films that didn't do well. Okay, De Niro has lost his touch. He's no more that good anymore. But no, an actor is at the behest of the script that he's given. He's at the behest of the material that he's given. He's at the behest of who this director is. Because when you're an actor, you look to the director at what do you want from this scene? Do you want more of this? You want more of that? You want less of this? You want me to be bigger? You want me to be smaller? You want me to move like this? You want this kind of energy? And because the actor wants the director to get things out of him. Because that's like, no, I need those things. And Scorsese, because he knows De Niro so well, they come from the same cloth, from the same ilk. He knows that, no, I want that. You know what I want. I want that. I'm not the director has it because no other director knows De Niro as well as Scorsese knows De Niro. And you could just see that De Niro was just bringing stuff that I've not seen since Casino, Taxi Driver, and Mean Streets. Just little things. I'm like, man, this is why De Niro is that dude, because De Niro just brings that kind of street level authenticity to the screen, which is what's made that his debut in Mean Streets so incredible. Because we're like, wow, man, this is such real hardcore acting, in carrying on in the whole kind of Brando aesthetic, But so there's just so much to cover in this one. Let me just look at the actors. Joe Pesci, when you're talented, you are talented, And I think I cannot see what De Niro forced Joe Pesci to do this, because oh my God, so much to talk about. We'll get to Pacino. The chemistry that him and Pesci have in this is amazing. It is amazing chemistry, and I was like, oh my God, this is like Raging Bull and Goodfellas again, and there's just that when you can't even put it into words. They just have that thing, but specifically for Joe Pesci. Because a lot of people, and I think which is why this performance solidifies Joe Pesci. No, this guy's an amazing actor. Because I think that before this film, he was known for funny hat. Basically, he was known for that and the comedian, i.e., in my cousin video or Lethal Weapon. So either the comedian or the scary guy in Goodfellas. So that was it. But I think in this film, this is a completely different character from the one that we saw in Goodfellas or in My Cousin Vinny. And this is the best kind of acting, where without saying anything, you say a lot. So there were just times where Pesci would just, even for like the scene where you see Pesci, his wife finds him and his shirt is all bloody. And there's just that expression on his face, and I know what that's about. I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah, which is like a theme of this thing. It is what it is. You know what I did. I had to do it. And there's just so much more deeper emotions through there, but nothing is said. Nothing has to be said. And even his wife even knew that, all right, go, just wash up. I get it. But just the way in which he commanded the scenes and the way in which he told us how important his character was and how the gravity of the scene just got raised every time he was on screen. You were like, wow, this is just amazing acting. There are just times where I could just give it a certain look. Like, basically when he met, I think it was Angelo, played by, oh gosh, what's his name? Oh, why did I forget his name? Oh God, what's his name? Oh, that's crazy. Basically, from Bad Lieutenants and Copland and Taxi Driver, basically the Wolf. I don't know why I've forgotten his name, man. Harvey Keitel. Why did I forget his name? It's basically, so Angelo, played by Harvey Keitel, when Keitel's character finds out that De Niro pretty much, I think, blew up his laundry place, his building that he owned. And then Dino was like, oh my gosh, whoa, chill, 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 chill. I was like, no, 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 no. The only reason why I'm not going to break your face is because of Dude, played by Pesci. And we just saw Pesci's expression and his face of where, bro, I looked out for you. I was like, just those little things, I was like, wow. I was like, that's just high level acting, man. And obviously, it's just sort of jumping ahead, but we'll get there. That scene, oh my gosh, there's so many scenes. No, okay. The scene towards the end, when Pesci basically says to De Niro that, look, we had to kill Pacino, i.e. Jimmy Hoffa, like, this is what happened. And he just explains to him what it's about when they were in that diner. Again, minimal stuff, not overreaching. Not too much is being said. Not too much has to be said, because actors that aren't that great, if they're given little dialogue, won't be able to put across the message, because their facial acting and their inner acting isn't that strong. But once you're on that high level of acting where you can project your inner emotions through your face and through an intangible way that isn't really using words, that's when you really operate at a very high level. Hence why Steve Zahlen, the screenwriter, he didn't have, maybe he even wrote more in a lot of the scenes with Pesci, and Scorsese was like, nah, chop it off now. Pesci can, all these words you're saying, Pesci can put them across to the audience without even having to say them. So, and I just thought, he links between Pesci and De Niro was great. So I just think Pesci showed you, he's showing you just many different sides. He can be the talkative guy who talks, and is really crazy. In Goodfellas, he can be the comedian who really cracks jokes and can't shut up in Lethal Weapon. He didn't say that much even in this film. He didn't say that much in this film, which I thought was great. Pacino. You see, I think, the criticism that people have had of Pacino is he was very loud. It's like, yeah, what? You don't know what I know. You don't know what I know. So, I like that, because Pacino is just very stylish. And it is what it is. He's larger than life. And even when he was very loud in this and very dramatic in this, almost like a theatre actor, look, it's always enjoyable to watch. But for me, I thought the best moments of Pacino were the smaller moments, and his scenes with De Niro were amazing. Goes to the director, because they have been, and also they were in that crap film Righteous Kill by John Avnet, where it was garbage and their scenes didn't have any juice or gravity to it. But because Scorsese understands De Niro, and obviously he's not this one, first time he's using Pacino, I look at the director, because obviously Pacino and De Niro were great, but when you're doing scenes, especially key scenes and the quieter scenes, a lot rides on the director, because the actors are like, what do you want from this scene? And the director will be like, boom, no. Another say, no, I want that, I want more of that. No, let's not more of that. No, I want to get this from those of you guys. So I want you to come in here like that. I want that look here, that look, and all those kind of things. Like the scene with where they were in the hotel, and obviously you had Pacino's character Jimmy Hoffa, and I think he had like a bathrobe or something. It was just so quiet. Not a lot was being said. It was just so very quiet, very solemn, very calm, and which was also made the film so heartbreaking was the relationship that they had, because that's just the crazy thing is that you could see the love that Pacino's character had for De Niro, and Pacino played that so well, because obviously because Pacino gave you two sides of Jimmy Hoffa. He gave you the public Jimmy Hoffa and the private Jimmy Hoffa. The public Jimmy Hoffa was expressive, loud, boisterous. The private Jimmy Hoffa had a much better relationship with Frank's daughter than Frank did with his daughter himself. And the private Hoffa really, really loved and appreciated and valued the friendship as all. So he thought with Frank, and I just thought that was great, and because like my slight criticism, this is just, it's not even a criticism, it's just something that I thought they should have done more of, is if we had seen more deliberation of Frank with his loyalty to, I believe it's Rosalina, I think basically Pesci's character and Pacino's character. I felt like if we had much more of a deliberation of that, I think we would have added a bit more, because I felt I felt the relationship, which is why when Frank shoots Jimmy, it was so shocking, because it was slightly ruined for me, because I didn't know about the whole Jimmy. I don't really know Jimmy. I knew the name, but I didn't really know the details. So I knew he got killed, but I didn't know who killed him. So that was really, when I was watching it in the cinema, I was like, oh, because I sort of like leapt over it down, because I didn't think Frank would actually do it, because I felt the relationship between Frank and Jimmy was a lot stronger than his relationship with Russell and Pesci's character. And the thing about it is, but then I'm now thinking about it, I'm like, but if you're closer to him than him, but Frank, well, hence why, like, Frank, you're a piece of crap, really. You're a piece of crap, and you're just a hitman, and you're just a gangster, because you chose the gangster's life, and you lost it to a guy who is a gangster, which is what Pesci's character is. He's a flipping gangster. He's not a nice guy, over a guy who was fully ingrained in your family and was trying to, do good things for his union and the Teamsters, So, yeah, man, it's like, and there's also only the different things. I mean, the performances of everyone was good and everything. Anna Paquin, I think there was a criticism from a critic who said that, oh, the women hardly say anything in the film, especially Anna Paquin's character hardly says anything. But that's the whole point. And I think Scorsese specifically chose Anna Paquin because I was like, I need someone, the theme of this review is, who can say a lot without saying anything. The whole point of Frank's daughter, her, was she was quiet. She didn't say much. She was not a huge talker. She was a very, very quiet person, which obviously continued into her adult life, where she only said like a few words. But you knew what she was thinking just by her eyes, and that was very key. So that character not speaking, being quiet, was crucial to the story relationship between Frank and the daughter. But I think, what, despite everything, I think, that the acting across the board was quality and everything. Good soundtrack, by the way. Good scripts, really good, decent scripts. Scorsese, man. I need to say it again. But on first viewing, you know what? I'll say this at the very least. On first viewing, this is easily one of his best made films. Easily. Like, I don't know. I'll say, because for me, like, I love Taxi Driver. For me, I also say it's between this and Raging Bull, and maybe Taxi Driver there. But because this is a very long film. It's a very long film, and you never feel the length. You never ever feel the length, and it's the filmmaking on display is outstanding. The filmmaking on display is absolutely, totally, completely, and utterly outstanding. It's just great to watch. It's extremely great. It's the amount of sequences that he does. I mean, like that sequence where Frank blows up the laundry place, where you just see the car coming through. He's pretty much investigating the area, the music that's being played, the use of slow motion and everything. And just framing shots from shots, different camera moves, and like almost everything we've seen from Scorsese movies, he puts everything in this. And just as I was watching it, I was like, just even like the lighting, mood, the performances he was getting from people, how he was dealing with multiple characters and everything. I was like, this is just amazing. And even the bits in the film where, because this is obviously his historical, and a lot of the characters that you met got killed, how he pretty much did that, where you just meet one character and you just say on text about how that they actually got killed, how that was done, how those characters were presented. I was like the filmmaking was on such a high level, such a flipping high level. Like, It was just a filmmaking masterclass. He just took you to flipping school. But one thing I will say though, I think it's with this whole Marvel thingy. But a point that Samuel L. Jackson made, and even for Samuel L. Jackson, look, Scorsese is right. There's nothing you can say against him. But one point he made was how he says, well, a lot of Italian Americans don't actually like the way that they've been represented. And it's maybe a point that we should even really think about. Because in the Scorsese's film, especially focusing on Italian Americans, I mean, the ones I can think of is Mean Streets, Goodfellas, and this Irishman, where Italian Americans are shown to be violent, rude, and just flipping criminals. So, and that's why, like, when you even think of Italian Americans, people just mimic what they see in Goodfellas or Mean Streets, you know. Yeah, and just this crazy thing. So, yeah, and you know, I mean, that's a real point. It's like for Scorsese, you don't really make many films that paint Italian Americans in a positive light. But for Scorsese, he said, "Look, I'm just telling the truth." And for me, like, he's just telling his truth. These are people that he knew. These are people that he grew up with. You know, like I was reading a Joe Pesci interview where it's like the character he played in Goodfellas is based off a real guy that he knew, and the whole funny how was a situation that he actually dealt with. You know, so you can only speak to the truth. But fact of the matter is, the films you've made, like watching Irishman now, I'm like, man, these guys are just the lowest of the. These guys are scum. You're criminals. You make money off killing people, extortion, just being illegal. So, you know, and the guys in Main Streets and Goodfellas, like, I can't appreciate these guys or show any reverence to these guys. Like, you're flipping criminals, man. So that's just the one side. But this is an amazing film. But I think more so, and I think this is what separates this from Goodfellas. See, in Goodfellas, I don't know what story was being told. And again, this is something I said to the other review of The Kings, like, what is the real story here? The story of Irishman wasn't just a hitman killing people. Story was, it was about getting old. Like the last 15 minutes of this film, the last section of this film is probably the best that Scorsese has ever done. Because just the way in which he presented the mortality of Frank and the mortality of all of us and getting old and the loneliness of getting old if you've lived a certain life. Because for Frank, like, bro, that's on you. That's on you. Like, the reason why your daughter doesn't talk to you, you know why. It's on you. It's your fault. So, I just even just how you just saw everyone just die around him. Where I think even when the detectives come and actually question him and they say, look, bro, you're the only one left. Everyone that you've known has died. And just how alone he is. It's like, wow. And even, because I didn't feel sorry for Frank. That's just the beauty of that section. I never felt sorry for him. I would just, it wasn't sympathy. It was like, man, bro. I mean, you just shake your head. You just shake your head. It was like, you put yourself in this situation, man. You know, so no one's going to feel sorry for you. And even, it's probably Scorsese's greatest moment in film. Like that thing where he says to the priest, please don't shut the door. He doesn't like the door to be shut. Just leave it slightly open. And then it ends there. So it doesn't we know that he obviously eventually died, but it does not end with his death, but it ends there in a sense of this guy who went around killing people, shooting people, killing people left, right, and center in the war as a mobster and everything without thinking. This is just how his life ended. Alone, no friends, no family, nobody to take care of him, and scared. Because that's why he said that he didn't want to be cremated, didn't want to be put in the grave, because you could say that he feared dying. A guy who sent so many people to their deaths, he was terrified of dying, you know, because he just felt so alone. I just thought that was just amazing, very, very contemplative. So yeah, you know, Irishman, man, this is a tier one movie. This is a tier one film. I mean, incredible, superb acting, very well made, and you will not. This is some of the best filmmaking you're going to see. Like, there is no film this year that will even come close to the filmmaking that you saw. Like, the filmmaking on display it's master. It feels like this is a master at work. Which is why when you now hear what Scorsese said about Marvel movies and you now see what he did, you're like, oh, this is what he's talking about. And when you now take a step back and be like, that's why when people are like talking about that whole Snyder cut and everything, like, guys, come on, God, really? When you just watch Irishman and you just watch this, you're like, this is what we should be striving for. Whether you're making a comic book movie, whether you're making a sci-fi movie, whether you're making a flipping cartoon or anything, you should strive for it. Not that you're going to get there because he's one of the best, but you should strive for this level of filmmaking, this level of storytelling, this level of constructing a picture. So yeah, man, tier one of the flipping away, an absolutely amazing